So, joining me today is Holly Prentice. Thank you so much for joining me. So excited to have you here today in collaboration with Ginger Paradise Productions. So, could you tell me what Behind Closed Doors is all about?
Sure. Behind Closed Doors follows Lisa Crawford, the character that I play, through her journey in a domestic abusive relationship. We see clips of how the counsellor can support her, kind of controversial actually, it seems, in the first film. And also the children, Mollie and Kayla, so it sees the effects on the children as well.
Thank you. So, may I ask, how did you come across the role of Lisa Crawford?
Sure. Okay, I saw the casting breakdown on Star Now, so one of the casting sites, and the breakdown was kind of quite detailed and very emotionally challenging, and that's why I was like, oh, this could be a good challenge. It was a lead role that I was interested in playing, so I wanted to have that challenge of, you know, connecting to something on a very deep level. And yeah, I went for it, did my self-tapes, and again I look back and I'm like, wow, thanks Caitlin for picking me, because I'm like, I wouldn't pick me.
Amazing. What has it personally felt for you to portray an abused woman, especially this being your first role, a lead role, which you played amazingly well, but to portray an abused woman, you know, how did you find that?
It was interesting because it's not something that I've been through myself. So in order to connect and do a good job on, you know, do such a serious situation justice, I needed to find my way in of being able to portray that. And find like a trigger basically that, you know, I can't relate to it, but something that I could use to get into the character of Lisa. It made me actually realise and open my eyes a bit more to the issues, to be honest. I think Caitlin has done a really good job on creating this story and, you know, creating awareness of it as well. But yeah, it was a really interesting, a big challenge to play such an emotionally challenged woman.
So considering the film is inspired by true events, did you have to put a lot of research into, Lisa's character?
Yeah.
Or was that something that came quite natural? I mean, you just kind of touched on that, but...
I didn't have any one-to-one conversations with people who have been through this.
Right.
But charities that have worked with these sort of cases, it was really important to go back and look through the symptoms, kind of the signs that we perhaps don't necessarily automatically, you know, think that something could be happening. And also, and Caitlin was really kind in the production pack at the beginning. She'd done a lot of research as someone who's been able to, you know, go through this, or her mother's been through this.
Yes.
It was really important that I went through and again went through her information that she shared. And luckily there was a lot of information there that I went through and studied. A lot of it was shocking, you know, facts that I didn't realise, or it's talked about but not really talked about. So yeah, I'm really grateful for Caitlin for sharing that information and done a lot of research with it together. Yeah.
Excellent. So you're speaking about Caitlin, the producer, director. What was it like to work with her?
Oh, amazing. Yeah. She's very, very creative in her vision. And I think that's really important. If you have someone who's really passionate and obviously coming from a true story as well, you've got that whole background, you know, she's passionate about it and it's true. As a team and as a cast, you have to be able to do a good job and do it justice. So
you did that really, really well. The trailer, I was just completely hooked. Absolutely hooked.
Thanks.
So may I ask, what has your experience been working on this production? Was the atmosphere different working with this particular film, you know, highlighting the abuse, compared to other productions you've previously worked on?
On screen, it's much more intimate. It's a very different environment to being in a theatre. So working so closely with the cast and crew, you know, you really need to click because you're all together in a very close environment. And we did. I think that's why, you know, the film's done really well as well, because it was a big joint effort.
Yes, thank you. I can imagine, because putting yourself into a character of, you know, someone being through abuse, and obviously with Ryan's character as well, did you manage to shake that off at the end of the day? You know, was you able to come out of character going home, or did it make you upset?
Yeah, I think a bit of both. There were some days where, you know, you'd leave and the last scene that you shot was something perhaps really intimate. What helped, I think, in a weird way, was having the children around. I think, like having those, like even when we were doing scenes and they were in the room next door, for example.
Yes, yeah.
We felt kind of, as soon as you'd done the scene, it was like, okay, we're back to the next thing. And then it never felt really like we were we ended on the end of the day, you didn't go home and, dwell on it. Having said that, it's such an important topic. And Ryan, who plays Mick, we had a conversation beforehand, especially during the more serious scenes. He was so kind and so respectful the whole way through it. It was important for us both to find the fun in it in a weird way. Watching it back, I think was the first time that I was like, oh my word, like this is a real thing. This is real. And so it did hit me when I watched the film.
Do you feel that you could relate to Lisa in any way, or would you say you're like two different people?
Yeah, good question. I think we are two very different people, even on things like age and playing a mum and that sort of thing. But I can relate to her in other ways. Not that I've ever been abused. I'm very fortunate I haven't, but I think I've been through situations where I feel trapped. And I think that's kind of the overriding feeling that Lisa has. She's stuck, she's trapped. And we all face obstacles and things that make us feel trapped. For me, that was kind of my trigger into what she's been through. I can't say I can do what, the feeling that she's had, but I can, that's my way in, basically, was to find something that I felt that I could, I could use that to portray her emotion.
Was it a new experience for you to work with child actors? And having to portray the maturity of a mother, because you're not actually a mother yourself, are you?
I have worked with child actors before for stage productions. And again, I'll go back and say stage and screen are two very different things. So playing, a lot of my friends are older, and I do hang around with a lot of older people. So picking up that maturity, I could do that in other ways. But I don't have children. So that was something that I had to be really clear on, that I knew exactly how I was going to, act these things out. But the children in this film are great. They're so talented, and the families are great. And we even use one of the children's houses for location for set. So that just shows that everyone was involved 100%.
Absolutely. So, Holly, there is a sequel on the way. What can you tell us about the sequel so far? What can we expect to see in this next film?
Okay, without giving too many spoilers away, we've gone back over the script and back over it to make sure that we are portraying exactly, all of us as a team, what we want to, what we want the story to be. But in this sequel, there is loads of drama, obviously, but a lot more exciting things as well. I think we all kind of wanted from the first one, we wanted to see some more happiness within it, a happy ending or something that can, without ruining it too much. Lots of drama, lots of excitement, even more excitement, I'd say, than the first one. I really think the second one has got a lot more excitement. That's what I'm going to say. my lips are sealed.
Thank you so much for taking the time out to join us, and I can't wait to see the sequel. Thank you.
I think some counsellor can get on my skin, you can think again.
So you're starting to like him now, are you?
I just can't think about it.
About Mick.
You will learn that at any given moment, you have the power to stand back and say to yourself, this is not how the story is going to end.
Ito na ang